Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance la-di-da and old lang syne? Why are we singing the New Year's Eve song, baby? I don't really know. Oh, I know why. Why? Because in the Anishinaabe way, the spring marks the new year. Is that right? That's what I heard today. This is actually since it's spring, it's it's new year. So happy New Year. Well, happy New Year. Happy New Year. Minawana gozi. Oshki Kikanunoen. Oshki Kikanunoen. It is Ziban. It is spring. It is Anima E Gija Good. It is prayer day. And it's a spring day. Well, it's spring night. It's the first spring night. It's the first night of spring. It's the first night of spring. Oh, I forgot. What? I was going to tell the robin story today. The first bird of the spring? First whatever? Yeah. Robin or Batman or Robin? Well, that was going to be my excuse to tell the Batman and Robin story again, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Okay. How you doing? BOOZHOO. BOOZHOO, Gwen Cardley. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, a podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO. This over here, the lovely and the talented Natasha Ekadon BOOZHOO Ini Mushain. Say hello, sweetheart. BOOZHOO Gakina. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. And of course, over here, the rock star cartoonist himself, Michael Lyons. Ekadon BOOZHOO Niji. Say hello to these people. Hey, everyone, welcome to the show. How you doing, buddy? I'm doing great. How are you? Not too bad. I talked to you like that. Like I just saw you. Like you just came into work or something. How are you this morning? I'm great. So weird. The live stream. Because there's a certain kind of format when it comes to just anything that's broadcast, you know. Like we do have an intro song. Yeah. And I introduced the show and myself. But like we just live together. It's not like, hey, so how was your weekend? Right. You know. But today is Anima E Gija Good. It is prayer day. And so to get things started off, here's a little prayer for prayer day. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I see. Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Ape Inge. Amen. Oh wow, that was really good, Natasha. You too, Michael. Thanks. Amazing grace. Oh, I think that was one of the coolest things we've ever done.
You think so?
Yeah, I love that song. Nice job there, Michael. Hey, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lyons, a rock star cartoonist. But, yeah, prayer day. People forget how, how religious, how Christian Indian people are. You know, anytime there's like a portrayal of Indian communities, res life in movies and stuff, it's always like, oh, out at the sweat lodge. We're going to the shaking tent ceremony tonight, you know. You would think there were no churches, but that ain't the case. We are the descendants of the boarding school survivors, man. There's a lot of Bible thumping going on the res on an Anima E Gisha good on a prayer day. In Ojibwe, we called the Bible the Gagikwe Mazina E Gun. It was the preach book. Preach it, sister.
It was the preach book.
But yeah. Hey, Surrealist is here.
Well, BOOZHOO, Surrealist.
Mino geek. That's not even the morning anymore. Mino dibakad. Mino dibakad, Surrealist. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, what should we talk about tonight?
Did you want to get in on talking about what were we gonna talk about?
I thought we had some smoke signals.
Yeah.
Hey, Victor, where's your wig? Smoke signals is a movie about a short story written by Sherman Alexie. Alexis. Whatever. Some shanab. And it's a story about these two guys. I wouldn't even call them friends at first. People think, oh, it's a buddy movie. It's a travel buddy movie about two Indian friends who leave the reservation in search of adventure. But it's not really that. What Smoke Signals is really about, in spite of the cover...
What?
That's Irene Bedard.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, I know. That's such a Hollywood thing they did.
What do you mean?
Well, Irene Bedard is not that big of a character in the movie.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even think she was in the short story. But yeah, she's the hot one. So of course she gets her stupid, beautiful face on the cover of the movie poster. You would think this was a movie about Irene Bedard. This is a movie about a girl who for some reason snagged some fat old man who died. And then she had to call his wife and kids and tell him to come pick up his ashes. He was stinking up the trailer. Would be one way you could tell this story if you wanted to. Yeah. But Smoke Signals is a story of two guys who grew up together. I guess they were friends, really. They grew up together. And the movie starts out where Thomas builds the fire. That's his name. Thomas builds a fire. He's just a baby. And his should I play the Smoke Signals thing right away? Well, we won't have a transition song. Maybe I can find something for that. The movie opens up with this. I'm just gonna play it. Okay. On the 4th of July, 1976, my mother and father celebrated white people's independence by holding the largest house party in Coeur d'Alene tribal history. I mean, every Indian in the world was there. And then, at 3 o'clock in the morning, after everyone had passed out or fallen asleep on couches, on chairs, on beds, on the floor, a fire rose up like General George Armstrong Custer and swallowed up my mother and father. I don't remember that fire. I only have the stories. And in every one of those stories, I could fly. I was just a baby when Arnold Joseph saved me from that fire and delivered me into the hands of my grandmother. And Victor Joseph was just a baby too when his father saved me from that fire. You know, there are some children who aren't really children at all. They're just pillars of flame that burn everything they touch. And there are some children who are just pillars of ash that fall apart if you touch them. Me and Victor, we were children born of flame and ash. Me and Victor, we were children born of flame and ash. Yeah, huh? That's such a cool way to start a movie. But anyway, so movie opens up with Thomas being thrown out of this burning house. And it's just amazing. But then they grow up on the res. And Victor's dad leaves him after a night of heavy drinking, partying and that. And his mom wakes up and she's all like, "We ain't doing this no more. You hear me? I'm done drinking." And he's all like, "Oh, I'm all hungover, man." And he slaps her and runs away, drives off, and that's it. Victor grows up, never seen his dad again. And one day they get a call. Victor's dad is dead. But good news is he got to hook up with Irene Bedard for a little while before the end. And if you want his pickup and a basketball, you can come out and get him in Phoenix, Arizona. Or out in the desert outside of Phoenix, apparently. So they leave the reservation. They get bus tickets. And they meet up with a couple of girls who are driving backwards. They're like, "Have you had your vaccinations?" And Victor's all like, "Oh, come on. Don't you start with that." "No, I'm not wearing a mask either." Come on, it's 1996. Give me a few years before we have to worry about vaccinations and booster shots, all right? And so they go off, and they go down to their dad's place, and they meet Irene Bedard, and she's like, here you go. And they sneak off, and they get in a car wreck, and then they get home, and they're buddies. And this is the story of smoke signals and Irene Bedard's face. You know, I met her once.
Did you really?
Yeah. When I was in Annie Humphrey's band.
Yeah.
We played at this thing down at Mystic Lake Casino. Mystic Lake is the big casino down in the city. It's down in Shakopee. And they have big, events down there. And they're having like Native American music night or something. And so we were invited to play with all these other bands too. And in between the different acts, they would have like celebrity guest, announcers. So like the guy who played Wind in His Hair in Dances with Wolves, he was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever that actor's name was. He comes out. And by this time, Wind in His Hair is a character in Dances with Wolves. And by this time, he had cut his hair and bleached it blonde for some reason. And all the Indians backstage were teasing him. They're like, hey, look out. Here comes blonde in his hair.
Oh, that's nuts.
But like the movie star, Indian movie star would come out and say, okay, up next. Here's Annie Humphrey and her band. We'd come out. But the lady who announced us was Irene Bedard. And so she's backstage, and you go back to the green room or whatever. And there she is, staring into a mirror. And it's one of those mirrors with the light bulbs all around it.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
One of those big makeup mirrors or whatever. And you don't really notice in the movie, but she is very fit.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, this was a long time ago. I don't know what she looks like anymore. But back in the 90s, you could tell she had like a trainer or something. She was just strong. Like her arms were just muscular. She had no body fat.
You seem like you really checked her out.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I don't mind. And then she was just stunningly beautiful. But kind of fake looking, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah, she wore a lot of makeup. It didn't look like it until you got up close and went, wow, you just caked that on, don't you?
No, really?
Yeah. She looked very Hollywood when I saw her backstage. And she didn't really, I just kind of poked my head and went, hey, how's it going? I liked you in Smoke Signals. And she was like, yeah. That was about it. She didn't want to talk.
No.
I did meet the girl who was in the car where there's those two ladies driving backwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was the one lady who was on Northern Exposure, the chubby one. I didn't meet her. But the other one was, what's her name? What's her name, sweetie?
I thought I was pretending I didn't know this.
Yeah. St. John. Michelle St. John.
Yeah, Michelle St. John.
Yeah, I hung out with her at a conference one weekend. So I did meet her. And those are the only two Indian actresses I think that there are.
Is that it?
Yeah. They usually get Hispanic people to play an Indian. Hey, Shady Side Locust. Hey, second shift? Nah, this is the first shift. We just didn't get around to it until almost bedtime.
Yeah.
Anyway, smoke signals, somebody brought it up the other day. They're like, yeah, I finally showed smoke signals to my kid. And we laughed and we cried. And we're like, yeah. It pulls at your heartstrings. I mean, no, it's not a perfect movie. It's probably not fair to compare it to Dances with Wolves or Thunderheart. There's something very low budgety about smoke signals. Like, some of the acting's really bad. Is it really? Yeah, kind of. You know, like, oh, that Victor, he's mean to you. Victor's mom or grandma or whatever she is. Yeah, that's how you can tell she's a bad actress. You don't know if she's supposed to be his mom or his grandma. Yeah, I think she's a grandma. Yeah, I think she is too. He's mean to you. He's mean to you. And John Redcorn's back. BOOZHOO, John. Thank you. Please pray for my pony, Many Miles Hybrid, to get us back safe. Well, we got some travel mercy requests. Should we pray for John Redcorn? Get you, Manado. Please help our brother, John Redcorn. Help his Many Miles Hybrid, his spotted pony, return home safe and sound and in one piece. We pray to you, O Nusana Wakwing Ebian, our Father who art in heaven. What, they think Indians don't believe in God? We believe in God, especially when we're traveling with our old beat up cars. That's where a lot of Indians got into the practice of putting out tobacco. You got to do it before you take a long car drive. It's like, okay, dapanan niwia sema gichimanadu. Dagawi duka wishin, please help me. Help me to get from here to there. I'll work out the rest of the problems in my life if you can just, one more time, just let this car not break down. I don't have any money to fix it. It's just a gamble. It used to be so stressful having to drive, especially in the age before cars. What do you mean before cars? Yeah, I don't mean cars. Before cell phones. Yeah. I mean, before cars, it probably was stressful too when you just had horses. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that was stressful too. But in the 80s, when you had an old beat-up car, that meant you had a beat-up car from the 70s or the 60s. A lot of us are driving around in, like, really old beat-up cars that would break down all the time, and 35-year-old tires. Driving around, no cell phone. You know, you'd have to learn how to repair a tire on your own at night, drunk. You know, it was stressful, you know, when your car would break down. You put out some tobacco. Please, let me just get home tonight. And help me not get pulled over by a cop. And I promise I will quit drinking. You get home. And you go, you know what I said? I promise. I will one day. I didn't mean tomorrow night, you know. Come on, I got a wedding this weekend. You don't really expect me to quit drinking at the wedding, do you? Come on. You drank at a wedding. You know, start making deals with God. But please, let me just get home. I just got to get home. It's an interesting subject for this. Anuma Egg Yujagad. It's prayer day. Prayer. You pray for safety. You pray. I came to a kind of a little, what you call it? What? A little moment of wisdom. A little moment of Nabwakawin today. I was thinking about prayer. And you know how it's like, it's a never-ending groveling for me. Oh, I'm so sorry for being who I am. Sorry for my sinful ways. Please help me to avoid evil. You know, you get sick of it after a while. Yeah. And then it just becomes listing off of all my gratitude. Thank you for my health. Thank you for this. Thank you for that, you know. So much God. And I do. But the tone of my prayers sometimes, it starts to feel like how you would talk to your jailer. I must feel like my creator is a judge, jury, and executioner. Yeah, well, in a way he is. I know. But then I remembered like old teachings from my grandma or something. old Sunday school teachings when I was a kid about Jesus and God and how he loves you. He's your Father in heaven. He loves you. Jesus loves me, this I know. You know, when I was a kid, they stopped talking about that for some reason. You know, I think they should bring it back. But this idea that your Creator loves you, and they go, picture how much you love your kid. And we don't have any kids, but I was picturing, if I had a kid, I would just love that kid for sure. You know, I love my cats, for crying out loud. That's supposed to be nothing compared to what Gitchimanadu loves us. Gitchimanadu is supposed to love us so much that, like if we loved our kid or whoever, we would be happy when they were happy. It would make us happy to provide and protect and to encourage and to just see them crushing it. Yeah. You know, I want to quit thinking of God as this indifferent judge, jury, executioner who I pray to remind, I'm so grateful, please don't strike me dead. Please don't quit, you know, taking care of me or whatever. Because I don't think he wants that. That came to me in an inspiration today. Did God tell you? God told me. Or just an idea I came up with. So I think I'm going to try to change the tone of my prayers. I mean, I'll still thank him for stuff, but I'm going to try to remember that, you know, and it's not just me. I don't want to be like that comedian who got struck down when she was like, oh, I'm Jesus's favorite. When she was kind of mocking Jesus and she like passed out. Oh yeah, that was just a few weeks ago. Yeah, I forget her name. I'm not making that joke. But what if the Creator, what if Gitchimanadu, the Great Spirit, loved us, just thought we were great, couldn't, you know, loved us twice as much as our grandmothers loved us, you know, 200 times as much. Why not? He's God. Then we could think of him as, well, maybe he's on our side. How about that? Maybe God's not trying to look for reasons to throw us into a lake of fire and sulfur, by the way. People forget it's not a lake of fire. It's a lake of fire and sulfur. Is that right? I think so. Fire's got to burn something. Yeah. You know, maybe he's really rooting for us. And he's just trying to communicate with us, but we can't hear him if we're all boozing up and going down the sinful path. You know. Shirley says, maybe as you believe in God, the Creator, he believes in you. Yeah. Maybe it's a reciprocal thing. If you fear God, he'll fear you. You think God's afraid of us? No. Do you think Satan's afraid of us? Good question. I think Satan's jealous of us. Yeah, is Satan jealous of God's love of us? Yeah, I think there's something like that. I think the demons and Satan and stuff. Because this is the other thing. Like, you know the story of the giants, the Nephilim? Yeah. In the Bible, there were the giants, Nephilim, and they were the fallen angels, meaning, you know, Satan's crew, demons, fell in love with human women and mated with them. I don't know the particulars, how, you know, were the fallen angels great looking when they first got here? And so did the human women love them back? Or was it something horrible? But apparently the human women had giant babies, like Goliath and that. But human women were beautiful to the angels. You know, I think a lot of people think of humans, oh, we're this gross, ugly thing, but maybe we're gorgeous. You know, they say God created us in his image. Maybe Maybe like Satan and demons and stuff are just jealous of human beings. Even the chubby ones, they go, oh, so beautiful. That chubby lady. Because they look like the Baphomet or something. Yeah. Yeah. Shady Side says, I think those sulfur lakes are the ones in Yellowstone National Park. You know, when I was an evolutionist and all this, and I trusted the model of the Earth, and you go to the science textbook and they go, oh, you know, the Earth is a ball, and in the end, in molten lava in the middle of it. And then they tell you, I mean, we've only drilled down 8 miles ever, so we don't really know. But this is, they told us that. Once I gave up that model, when you look at the Jewish model or whatever, the biblical model of the earth, they talk about how underneath us there's she oil or shell or something. It looks like shell oil, but an area where we get the oil, which is not dinosaur bones. But now I think it's probably really is literally below us in the ground. I don't know how far, but I think there's a whole realm under us. And that's why we probably are Middle Earth. Middle Earth like in The Hobbit? Yeah. Because there's lower Earth, there's hell. There's Earth, that's where we live, on this plane. And then there's the heavens. That would be the upper Earth. And then one day they say heaven comes down to Earth. That's when the dome collapses in on us or something. I don't know, getting deep on an anima geisha good. On this prayer day, sweetie. Did I see Missy? Oh, there she is. Hey, BOOZHOO, cuz. Hey, BOOZHOO, Missy. Is Missy coming out for lunch this week? Yeah, I think on Tuesday. Okay. I'm going to do lunch on Tuesday. That's what we used to say in the 80s. Let's do lunch. Oh, let me check my schedule. I'm a yuppie. I'll have to make sure I get the time off. I don't know, man. I tell you one thing I'm really grateful for, too. What's that? Speaking of Sunday nights, anima geisha good, deepak good. Saturday night, or Sunday night, you used to have kind of a dread feeling. I never wanted to either go to school on a Monday morning or go to the job on a Monday morning. This mix, this perfect balance, perfect cocktail of anxiety and depression would kind of settle in around 5 on a Sunday afternoon. And then, just try to soothe myself into bed until... Then I wouldn't want to go to bed because I'd be like, the weekend's over. It's almost like the Monday morning grind starts Sunday night because now I got to go to bed early. And now I'm happy to get up on a Monday morning, go do the live stream or not, or put it off until noon. I like that we have the freedom to just... Mondays don't suck. And Monday is now getting warm enough out there because it's springtime, you guys. Ziguan, which happens to be... There's Ziban. Yeah, Ziban. What is Ziguan? Ziguan. I don't know. Ziban. Did I spell that right, you guys? No, I want to say it's Ziguan. What is Ziguan? Zieg Heil! No, sweetie. She's such a Nazi. Oshki Kikkenunoen. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. The old way. They think about this time of year actually being the beginning of a year. No, it's a winter equinox. Look, I'm tired of asking the pagans when my calendar should start. Obviously, the year starts in the spring. That's when the buds come out. Everything begins in the spring. And that's why today is Happy New Year, everyone. Menawana Gozi. Oshki Kikkenunoen. Kikkenuno. It's a new year. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make a New Year's resolution? Are you finally going to put down the bottle? I mean, just look at you. You're drunk again. You had a whole weekend to do anything you wanted. And what did you do? You sat around watching sports, drinking beer, not practicing the guitar, not working out.
Who are you talking to?
Myself about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just look at you. Why don't you take some stock in your life? You think anything's going to get better by just sitting there? No. I wish we had a time machine. I'd go back in time and give myself some tough love.
Would you really?
I'd probably be pretty easy on myself, actually. If I could go back in time, I'd be like, hey, buddy, you're doing a good job. All things considered, man, hang in there. I know it sucks. I remember this time of life. Nobody likes working 12-hour shifts overnight for $9 an hour. With the kind of people you work with, too. You're not depressed. It's a depressing job. And you have no money. You're stressed. Hang in there. Don't despair. Things get better. That's what I would say. What would you say to yourself if you could go in a time machine and then boom, like 20 years ago?
20 years ago. Well, I would say, hey, enjoy kindergarten.
Shut up.
I'd say, happy birthday, 6-year-old. No. 20 years ago? I would say, yeah, probably what, like you say, hang in there, things get better. You know, put down the gun. Yeah. Come down off the stool.
We shouldn't joke.
I know.
Today in Bemidji, there were 2 thwarted suicide attempts. I couldn't believe that was like internet news. iNews. The guy who comes on and gives, the traffic report. Icy roads, be careful out there. This has been iNews. Today he gets on there and he's all like, here's a footage of a guy who cops just talked off of the bridge. He was going to jump and he decided against it. He had video. I'm like, what? So, well done, Bemidji PD. Whoever that guy was. People always forget that that's part of the cop's job once in a while. Try to talk a guy out of killing himself. And then there was somebody else who tried to hang himself. And didn't. And I was like, wow. Number one, how is this new? I mean, I guess it gets clicks, I suppose. But it reminds you, like, man, people are having a tough time out there. Just because it's spring doesn't mean everyone is skipping through the puddles and falling in love. It's going to be a tough time for people. So if in spite of the sun coming out and hasn't cheered you up, hang in there. Maybe you can give him some words of encouragement.
Yeah, I'll get up there. I'll give him a what's it called? Not a booster. A pep talk.
A pep talk. You bet. Give him a pep talk. Don't give him any Pepto-Bismol.
No.
All right, sweetie. I'm going to let Natasha get up here. But in between, let's show him a commercial.
Hey, we can show him the OJIBERISH ad.
Can we?
I think so.
Is there any... No, I think I put a stupid filter on it.
I know, but remember we said we weren't going to look for music videos in live stream anymore?
I know, because it brings the whole show to a halt.
Yeah, remember how we promised we wouldn't do that?
I know, sweetie. But I've told you before, you can't trust me. Don't believe my promises. I make empty promises.
No!
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just the way I am. You know, they say that the road ain't no place to start a family.
Right down the line, it's been you and me.
All right. Hopefully, this is a commercial. Up next, the lovely and talented Natasha.
BOOZHOO! And welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha, and today, our Ojibwe word of the day. You call it butter. We call it milk grease. Doo-doo shaboo bimate. Doo-doo shaboo bimate. Milk grease or butter. Brought to you by your friends at Land O'Lakes. Aki, land. Zagat Iganin, lakes. Land O'Lakes. Now, please welcome NANABOOZHOO! Take it away, baby. I'm coming right over. Hang on. Sweetie, would you mind?
Yeah, hang on. Okay, how do I do this?
I'm going to stand here on the teleporter.
Yep.
And then, push the button right here. Yeah. And you're going to have to jiggle that wire at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, you ready? One to teleport. Make it so, number one.
See? That was perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. BOOZHOO. Natasha Nindisha Nakaz. And Minawana Gozi Oshki Kikanunoin. Happy New Year. Today is the first day of Zibun. First day of spring. And, let's see, how do I want to start? I know, I'm going to say a prayer first. Don't look at me, I'm going to say a prayer. Gitchimanadu. Dikawi dukawishin ando minawenungum. Great Spirit, please help me to speak well today. Mikwachka iji kakida kiku ka iji chikianungum. Thank you for everything that you do today. Mikwachka iji webak. Thank you for the weather. Thank you for the spring. Zibun. Mikwachka iji kishakuk. Thank you for this day. Mikwach. Gabamadaziyan. Thank you for my life. I'm paying gay. Amen. But yeah, so today we were talking about how just because the sun's out and just because it's spring, it's getting a little warmer, and you can finally quit wearing the winter boots, doesn't mean that there's not people who are still kind of freaking out or have had it up to here. If we had planned ahead, I would have had the medicine wheel here. But I'm going to lay down a little Debwewin, a little truth. I'm going to lay down a little Nibwakawin, a little wisdom. In the Anishinaabe way, wisdom. The beaver represents wisdom. The beaver gained wisdom after he was knocked down, humiliated, humbled. Okay, I know, I'm going to tell a story. This is the story of Mick, the beaver. Back in the days of the grandfathers, Mick had a big fluffy tail. And he was really proud of it, and he would always just sashay around the woods, showing off his big old fox tail. He was big and fluffy, just gorgeous. And he walked up to the bear. He goes, "Hey, Mukwa, check out my tail. Isn't it beautiful?" And Mukwa, the bear, he goes, yeah, that's a real pretty tail you got there. You must be very proud." And Mick goes, "Oh, I bet you wish you had a tail like this." And Mukwa goes, I don't mind my little tail. When I'm sitting down, leaning against this tree here, doesn't get in the way. You know, my tail suits me just fine, thanks. And Mick goes, oh, you're just jealous. And he turned on his heel and stormed away. Well, pretty soon, old Ondag, the crow, he comes flying down. He goes, hey, Mick, what's up? And Mick says, hey, Ondag, check out my tail. Isn't it beautiful? And Ondag, the crow, he goes, oh, yeah, that's a really pretty tail. You must be very proud. He goes, don't you wish you had a tail like mine? And Ondag says, well, you know, my tail, it helps me steer when I'm flying around. You know, my tail suits me just fine. And Ondag goes, oh, you're just jealous. And he turned on his heel and stormed off. Well, pretty soon he goes into the woods and he's all crabby. Goes, oh, those guys are just jealous of me. I got this beautiful tail, but nobody will admit it. And he starts chewing on his tree. Chop, 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 you know. And normally, Mick was a really good carpenter, really good logger. He could drop trees wherever he wanted. He could build dams. He could build houses. He could build dam houses, you know. No. And, but this time he wasn't paying attention. He was those dumb guys. I don't even like my friends anymore. And instead of dropping the tree forward, this time it started dropping backwards. And oh wow, it's coming right down at him. And the last second he jumps out of the way, but the tree lands with a smack. And it lands right on his tail. And he pulls that tail out. And it's just like a cartoon. It's all flat. It's all black and gross. And he starts to cry. And he goes, get you, Manadu. What did you do to me? Look at my tail. And Gitchi Manadu calls down and goes, well, Mick, you know, you did this to yourself. Because you were so ugly to your friends. And because you had so much pride. You weren't paying attention to your job. And instead of dropping that tree forward, it dropped backwards and landed on that tail. And now you have an ugly tail. But listen, I want you to do something for me. And Mick goes, yeah, what's that? He goes, why don't you jump in that river right there? Swim around a little bit, see what you think. So he jumps in, and he discovers, he goes, you know what? Yeah, my tail's flat and black and gross, but I'm a really good swimmer now. This is insane. And he looked down, and he had webbing on his hands and his feet, and he goes, man. And he comes out, and he goes, Gitchi Manadu. I don't know what to say. And Gitchi Manadu says, don't say anything at all. But just notice that sometimes if you behave all ugly and prideful, something bad's going to happen to you. You'll smash your tail. But also notice that sometimes these bad things you think happen will lead to showing you your true power. You know, sometimes something really good will come out of a tragedy. And this is the day that Gitchi Manadu became a Buddhist. Nah. But Gitchi Manadu, you know. And this is a story of Mick and how he got his tail. But it's also kind of, this is what I have to say for the kids. From your old Auntie Natasha. I don't give advice to people my age or older. If you're not crushing it right now, if you're not doing great, if you're sad, if you are lonely, if you're scared, if you're fed up, don't forget that just like we're entering a new season right now, life is seasons. There's going to be a season where things are going good and a season where everything falls apart. But then that leads to another season. Now, Mick has wisdom only now because he was humiliated. He was humbled. And in the 7 Anishinaabe values, we also value Dabadane Dizzy Win, humility. If something, bad stuff's going to happen, you're going to get fired, you're going to get dumped, you're going to get sick, you're going to, not necessarily you, not all those all at once or anything, but bad stuff happens all the time. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Please don't give up. Gotta walk out of here. I can't take anymore. I'm gonna stand on that bridge. Keep my hands down below. Whatever may come and whatever may go, the river flows. But, it's getting to the point where a lot of us know at least one person who just gave up. And I think it happens if you forget that, like the good times, even the bad times, nothing can last. You gotta hang on like a winter that just wouldn't give up. Sooner or later, it will be spring. Even if you don't do anything, sometimes, since everything changes, sometimes things do work themselves out. Or, like the beavers, sometimes you got to get crushed before you can learn to crush. His tail was crushed. He was no longer a fine tail, And this has been your Debwaywin, your truth from Auntie Natasha. Anyway, I don't know. Hang on. Don't give up, 'cause you have friends. Don't give up, you still have us. Don't give up, 'cause somewhere there's a place where we belong. Rest your head, you worry too much. It's gonna be alright. When times get rough, you can fall back on us. Don't give up. Please don't give up. I can tell I'm getting tired. Why? Because I can't talk. I can only sing. Please don't give up. All right. Should I talk about anything else? Nah. You want to call it a show? Yeah, kind of. All right. Did you want to talk about anything else? Can you mention the books? Oh, sure. Hey, everybody. If you'd like to support the show, we have a PayPal and a GoFundMe and a Patreon page. Click the links in the description. And you can order Ojibwe language books by Mike Lyons, like an English Ojibwe coloring book, where you can color pictures. I wish we had gotten rid of that. That's not one of the pages. That's part of a page. You don't have to color a page. That's just a fence. But he's got coloring book pages in there. And of course, I say that like it's... And of course, as every live stream Ojibwe language puppet show has, Mixed Blood is a story of a bicultural, biracial girl named Mixed Blood, who's part elf, part vampire. Goes to boarding school, meets an alien named Steven, gets chased down by Santa Claus. Mayhem ensues. It's a good book. Mixed Blood is kind of a chapter book.
it's a young reader's book in a way. I mean, it totally is, but it's not as young as Little Cutie. Little Cutie is like for second graders. And children of all ages. No. But it's Little Cutie, a Teddy Bear's Vision Quest. And, BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. And this is like for little babies. Picture book. BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO means hello, squirrel. And he just walks through the woods saying hello to people. Hello, crow. Hello, raccoon. So it's like greetings and goodbyes. Although we don't say goodbye, do we, honey? Nope. We say, I will see you again. I will see you again. Anything else? No, thanks. Okay. Well, everybody. Miigwech Bizendawi egg. Thank you for listening to BOOZHOO. Just thank you for listening. Dash Miigwech Ganawabi egg. Thank you for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha. This is NANABOOZHOO. Okay, Miigwech. This is Michael Lyons. Thanks so much. And I will see you again. Go up a man. Alright, sweetie pie. One more time. One more time. See you tomorrow. One to teleport. We did that backwards. Alright, you go first. One to teleport. Make it so, number one. Alright, hang on.